They're very, very opposing. Right. And we've got to find an explanation that will account for, incorporate all that data, and that's very hard to do right now. It's easier to throw out some of the data and make a theory to fit what we've got left. Yes. Yeah.
You mentioned that these aliens communicate with abductees. What different languages have they been known to communicate?
Normally it's mental, and so it comes in whatever language the person speaks, like telepathy. Oh, the person in front of you, yeah.
Question one, why do people have to think they are crazy when something strange happens in their lives?
Why? I don't think they have to. I think we would prefer to be told we're crazy rather than we're abductees, because you can treat mental illness.
You're not mentally ill and you're not crazy.
We know it. We're functioning on every other facet of our lives just like everyone else, but this doesn't fit reality. We've been taught what reality is. This isn't it. Where's the problem, you know? The woman back behind you, yeah.
Where did you find all these reports where these patterns come from?
This is from a pool of over 400 abduction investigations begun by Barbara Bartholick, and then I joined her research as an assistant, then an associate, and I've now become trained in some of the hypnotic regression techniques. I do it very rarely, but I do it when there's no one else there, the person really wants it. Barbara began, by the way, and I'd like to say this, Barbara began originally in the mid-70s as an assistant in research to Dr. Jacques Vallée, who was investigating cattle mutilations in the Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas area. Some of you may not know that he ever did this research, but he certainly did. And after 7 years of this, he began to change his focus, and Barbara had been drawn through investigating the cattle mutilation cases into realizing the abduction phenomenon was going on also, and she began to do her research in that area. Yeah, Melinda?
Is Barbara a certified hypnotherapist?
No, she is not.
I was thinking that was the case.
Persons who have been through hypnosis with her, I've got to throw this in because I believe it at this moment. Persons who've been through hypnosis with her and then with others who are certified will come back to Barbara rather than the other. They've told us, one of your friends has said that in fact to us, that there's no comparison with her insight or intuition that you can't learn. But she was taught by a certified hypnotherapist who at first did do the abduction regressions, and then the cases got so large he had to train her.
I would just say that anyone that's going to have any kind of investigative work done with them on a personal level should be working with qualified hypnotherapists.
And what is that? What is that? I mean, there is no state licensure.
There are licensed agencies, there are ways to check.
But there is no state licensure.
What you do is you just ask the person that's working with you.
But what are those credentials and where do they come from?
I will be glad to see you and tell you there's a long list.
I know Barbara was trained by a certified hypnotherapist. She never went through the qualifying certification process, but the man who was doing the work had done it voluntarily. The caseload became so overwhelming he could no longer volunteer his time. He was one of the best certified hypnotherapists in the Tulsa area, and he trained Barbara personally to do this. Her results speak for themselves. I'm not at all worried. I put my son in her hands. I put myself in her hands, and the results have not been something I regretted. Yes, sir.
What percent of the 400 abductees you're talking about were Afro-American?
One of her most extraordinary cases was half black, half Cherokee Indian. An entire family of Afro-Americans in the South Dallas area, a very intelligent, widely spread out family in which there were every generation and relationship had these experiences. 4 new cases in the Oklahoma area of Afro-Americans. The numbers are not 50-50 certainly, but there are a number of cases. Yes, sir.
Do any of your cases draw from the works of Linda Moulton Howe? I'm particularly interested in the mantis sightings.
No, she has turned up parallel material. We've talked about this at some of the conferences, and reptilian, insectoid, and so on are turning up in her cases as well. But these are not her cases. These are ours. Are we through? Ellen says it's time for a break, and I thank you very much for your attention.